Hey everybody, this is Jason with Akers Pest Control. Thought I'd do a show tonight on spiders. You can visit my website at greenacrespc.com. You can check me out on Facebook and like and subscribe to me on YouTube. I really appreciate all the likes and subscribes. I'd like to mention too that my daughter's here with me tonight. I'm a little bit earlier filming today because I wanted to be able to be there for some of my subscribers here in Virginia. And usually I have been getting on kind of late after the kids have already gone to bed. So just so you know, we may have a little bit of some children running around, maybe a dog or something, but usually everybody is asleep at this time when I'm filming, but tonight they're all awake. So anyway, I just thought I'd try to put some ease to some people with some spider questions tonight. I got this big huge spider here. I think I'm going to go ahead and take him down now. He's just trying to hang out here. I'm going to exterminate him real quick. Let's see where is he? There we go. Oh, see, he was easy to kill. But anyway, tonight I just wanted to go over some poisonous spiders in the area of Virginia. Now I'm not sure what's poisonous as far as other parts of the country. When it comes to places like Arizona and other states, you'll have things like scorpions and stuff like that that are poisonous, and they're considered arachnids as well. But here in Virginia, we're just going to be dealing with spiders tonight. And like I said, anytime you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask. Chat's open. It's always live. I don't mind answering any questions anybody might have tonight. But first, we're going to go over the obvious one that everybody likes to talk about, and that's a black widow. Now, there's a picture of a black widow right there. Now, this is, she's got the little red hourglass on her, you see. And that can be, of course, on her back or on her belly. Sometimes the hourglass is on their belly and there's a little red spot on their back. Sometimes they don't have a spot at all. It just depends on the age of the spider, how old they are, and their markings. So I've got another here, picture of one with an actual egg sac. Now, she lays about 500 eggs in an egg casing. So this is the egg casing. This holds all of her eggs. She'll lay them all in there, and it's about the size of a little mini ping pong ball. And she, as far as I know, in North America, she lays the most eggs of any spider that we have native to North America. It's about 500 per egg sac. She can lay 2 to 3 of those a year. It just depends on when she gets started her reproductive cycle. And so that's anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 babies a year that she can produce. And that's like, you know, maximum amount. And anyway, so typically with the black widow, they will live in crawl spaces. You can find them under rocks. You can find them in gardens. A lot of my customers have found them under plants, growing around plants and things in their garden when they go to weed and till the earth and stuff. So that's normal. Just be careful, wear gloves when you're dealing with your garden, because everybody's getting ready to garden this time of year. Spiders are usually one of the first things out in the spring when it starts to get warm outside. They start warming up and they start coming out and causing a problem. So you want to just, like I said, wear gloves when you deal with your garden and try to play it safe. The bite is a neurotoxin, so they can cause symptoms like a stomach ache, nausea, anything that would nervous tics, things like that. A lot of times people who get bit, the people that are going to be harmed the most, children, elderly, people with immune systems that may not be in the best condition. That's what these are going to really cause a problem. A lot of times if you go to a hospital with a black widow bite, they don't typically even give an antivenom. It's a very rare thing to have to give you, and so it just doesn't happen very often. Anyway, what I was going to say too, the next spider we'll move on to is another poisonous spider that we have in Virginia. And that is a brown recluse. Now, this is one a lot of people think they have in their home. They look a lot like other spiders that we do have, and that quarter's there just for size to give you an idea of how big they are. They're a real teeny tiny spider. A lot of people think that those big hairy, like a wolf spider or a field spider, something like that, that's what these are, but they're not. A brown recluse typically hunts at night. They're nocturnal. They are they have a poison that causes a flesh-eating bacteria. So what happens is they inject a little strand under the skin that will continuously produce a venom that what it does if it goes untreated, it will cause your limbs to rot. It will cause you to have like I said, flesh-eating disease. And typically what happens is people will notice they've been bit about about a day after the bite occurs. If you wait more than 48 hours with a bite from one of these, you will have permanent scarring. I have seen people with bites so severe where I had a customer one time who had to have her arm sewn like this because she got bit on her arm, like right here, and it caused the flesh to rot, and the amount that they had to remove from her arm, they did not have enough skin that would graft over to heal her arm, so they had to sew it to her chest like this, actually to her stomach, so that the skin from her stomach would grow over the sore, and then they could separate it later and they'd actually have some skin that they would be able to grow, so her body would grow the skin to cover the spot where it had eaten away all of her skin. So these are a very bad spider. A lot of times when you get bit by a brown recluse, you don't even know you've been bit because they bite you at night. They're an extremely aggressive spider. I have seen these in crawl spaces. It's very rare. You don't see them very often at all because, like I said, they usually are active at night, and they're not active during the day, so you just don't usually see them. So anyway, that's a brown recluse. And now we'll go into some other spiders, like a daddy longleg, which everybody has seen those. Everybody knows what a daddy longleg is. If you've anything like me, when you were a kid, you might have picked these up, throw them on your sister, because that's what kids do. And sorry, my daughter's running in and out of the room. She was supposed to sit here all nice and sweet and not get up and run around or cause a bunch of noise, but she's 4, so that's how 4-year-olds are. But anyway, that's a daddy longleg there. They don't really hurt anything, they don't harm anything, but they like to get in clusters. They like to cluster all up on your wall, and they'll be 20, 30, 40. I've seen as many as 100 of them all up underneath an eave, and they'll cluster all up together. These can be eliminated with general pest control. Just about anybody could get rid of these themselves with anything you buy at like a Home Depot or a Lowe's or Walmart. Anywhere like that would sell a basic pesticide to get rid of these spiders. They're not too hard to deal with. They're not poisonous. You don't need to worry about them. I know there's the wives' tale out there that they're real poisonous, but they can't bite you because their mouth parts are too small and everything. But that's every single spider is venomous. Every single one. They all have a venom. They all are poisonous, but there's only a few that are poisonous enough to hurt you. So you're not going to get hurt by a daddy longleg. You're not going to be hurt by any other real spider here that I have to show you tonight, except for maybe a black widow or a brown recluse. As far as Virginia, now there is a yellow sac spider that looks like a brown recluse, and that is also a poisonous spider, much in the same way a brown recluse is, but it's not something you really need to worry about. If you get bit, it's the same treatment for a brown recluse as it is for a yellow sac spider. So, but anyway, those are the two, really the only two that people really mention in the area are the brown recluse and the black widow for that reason. Then here's a wolf spider. Now, this is, I grabbed the wrong picture here. This is something here that absolutely most people, once you see one, you never forget it. Now this is a real up close picture. Most of the time when you see this spider, you're not going to notice, but you can see really well the little babies all over this spider's back. Now what will happen, and this is what people will call me for, they'll call me and they'll be freaking out over the phone because they've killed this spider, and all these little teeny tiny babies that are hitching a ride on the back of this spider will start to scatter and run everywhere. And because that's why they call them a wolf spider, because they like to carry their babies on their back. Sorry, I was just looking up a picture real quick. Well, I don't think I can find the picture. I wanted to show you a picture, but yeah. Anyway, that's why they call them a wolf spider, because they do carry their young, much like a wolf does, and so. But they have a lot more babies. It's 50 babies on their back at once, and then you kill them, and they'll just scatter all over the place, and that's normal for a wolf spider. A lot of times people think it's a field spider. They go to step on it or spray it with a bug spray raid or something, and the little babies will just go everywhere. So, but they're really typically pretty easy to get rid of. They do hunt for food, much like wolves hunt for food, and so they don't make a web to catch things. And that's one thing too about a black widow. A black widow will make an actual web. A lot of times what she will do when she gets ready to lay her eggs is she will make a funnel web way up high in the corner somewhere, and she will lay her eggs, and she will sit there and she will guard her eggs until they hatch. She's one of the only spiders that will actually guard her eggs until they hatch, because she gets very aggressive guarding them. And so if you get near her web while she's guarding her eggs, that's usually when you'll get bit by her, because she's really possessive, really protective over her young. And so she waits until they've all hatched, and then she will leave. She'll go somewhere else. But so that's something you need to keep an eye on. Most people will start noticing black widows around the house, typically around summer to fall. It just depends on her reproductive cycle, on when she's ready to lay eggs, on when you start to see her. And so, but not all spiders will make a web. Daddy longlegs, they don't make a web. They will. They hunt for food, like the brown recluse. They hunt for food. And of course the black widow, she does make an actual web. And then we'll get into the garden spider. Now these, I'm sure you've seen these before. These make a really pretty intricate orb web. One of those real big, like I like to consider like the Charlotte's Web. If you've ever seen the movie or read the book Charlotte's Web, where she makes that really big round web, and she likes to inscribe all the different writings and stuff in the web. These are much like that. They like to draw in the web. You'll see the little zigzags and stuff all in the web. They can make really intricate webs. They're nothing to be afraid of. I know a lot of people are afraid that these spiders will bite them and they'll hurt them or whatever because they're big and they're yellow. Oh, yellow in the wild means danger. But that's actually not true. These are really just harmless. I have fed these spiders before, bugs and things. They're pretty cool to watch. But they won't harm you in any way, and usually you see them before you even run into their web. They're not something that you really have to worry too much about. They're harmless. And I know they scare a lot of people because they're really large. I mean, they're about that big, full grown. So people tend to get really scared about these, but they really won't hurt you at all. They're just a little garden spider. They're harmless. And the wolf spider too. The wolf spider, they won't really hurt you either. They're harmless. They're not going to hurt you either. They might bite you if they get scared or something. They might bite you. But the ones you really have to worry about is a brown recluse and the black widow. And here is what this is a cellar spider. Now some people will have actually mistaken these for daddy longlegs. They'll call me up and they'll say, "Hey, my basement is infested with these little daddy longlegs." And these are not a daddy longleg. You can tell how they've got a body, and they've got they're not a daddy longleg at all when you actually zoom in on them. But these things will infest your basement. They are horrible for crawl spaces, horrible for basements. They breed so quick. They can lay their eggs, and the eggs hatch before a month, typically 28 days or less. They can hatch their eggs. And so they produce a vast number of spiders, and they will quickly overtake your basement. They're very difficult to get rid of without an exterminator. I would usually recommend at least 2-3 months of regular pest control to even think of touching the type of because they reproduce so quickly. it does help to kind of go by with a broom and brush down their webs. You know, after you call your exterminator and he comes out and he treats your house, then you go around behind him, brush down all your webs. And this goes for any spiders. Brush down all the cobwebs and crush the eggs if your exterminator doesn't offer that, you know, type of service for you, or if it's something you might be able to save some money if you do it yourself. But you know, that's something you want to do to help with your spider control. But these things right here, they will bite you. They will make you itch. They're like little mosquitoes. They leave these little bites all over your arm, and they are just more obnoxious than anything because they will fill your house full of webs. They make just a big mess, and they get on everything and in everything. So they're just no fun. I have dealt with them a lot in my past and in all the work that I've done. They're probably the most common spider that people call me for in their house. They're really common, especially in basements and crawl spaces. I know I've been under houses treating for termites before, and these things are everywhere. They're probably the most obnoxious for me to deal with just because they do love crawl spaces. And so that's everything. And if there aren't any questions, I think that will do it for the spiders. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to talk about. That is still not right. There we go. I messed that up earlier. Like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to do these videos as often as I can, as I think of them. You know, leave me some comments below if there's anything you'd like me to ask, any questions I haven't asked, that I haven't answered. You know, any kind of spider pictures you want to post, you know, I'm welcome to see anything you got. And like I said, if you have any questions or anything at all, don't hesitate to ask. I've got a Facebook page. I've got a YouTube. Of course, this is my YouTube channel. I've got a let me think. Facebook, YouTube. Is there anything? My website. You go on my website, I've got a little form there you can fill out if you want to ask me a question that way. It'll send it straight to my email. I offer 24-hour support on all that thing. You know, I always have my phone nearby. I answer all my emails. I answer all my phone calls and everything. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And I really appreciate all y'all liking and subscribing to me and seeing what I got to say. Y'all have a great evening, and I'm going to go get me some dinner. Good night.